Welcome in, everyone, to our Cracked Racquets coverage of a Monday top 10 college tennis showdown happening in Texas. Number 9 University of Texas travels to Baylor to take on the number 2 Bears. Joining me on the broadcast today to help preview and, of course, break down all the action we're about to see unfold is the man who so frequently joins me whenever we're talking college tennis here at Cracked Racquets. You know him as the professor, the snitch. I know him as my friend Chris Halioris. Chris, top 10 on a Monday. That's how you know college tennis is back.
Yeah, we need these Mondays, Fridays, every week. We got to away from the weekend. These top 10 matchups is tremendous.
No, it's, again, people say, oh, college. First of all, people don't actually say this. I was about to attack a straw man. What separates college tennis from other sports? You get top 10 showdowns just about every week. And obviously the first few months, it's interconference battles. Here we have a Big 12 matchup, a non-conference result, but a Big 12 top 10 matchup. And of course, that's been the theme here this weekend. Plenty of top 10 action happened across the country. We'll break it all down on Thursday's show. Of course, if you're not already, come watch the deciding point here on our Cracked Racquets YouTube channel. We break down each week in women's Division I college tennis on Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern time, men's Division I college tennis, 7 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday. Of course, you look at some of the results we saw this weekend, though, Chris, have to touch on some of them because this is one of multiple top 10 matchups we saw on the weekend. The big note, the Buckeyes knocking off Virginia, knocking off Tennessee, not dropping a point on their way to doing so. They're regardless of today's result, right? They have to be number one.
There's no question. I'm going to be shocked if the coaches polls come out and they're not number one. Color me surprised. No, I won't be shocked. But yes, they are absolutely number one after that. And it doesn't get any easier. You know, for the men, we're 2 weeks away from indoors, and they get Kentucky and Wake come knocking this week.
It's crazy. I mean, they're going to be ready for the national indoors. This is what Coach Ty Tucker does. And yeah, again, we'll expand on those matchups more on this week's show. But you talk about the national indoors looming over everything. These matchups, massive seeding implications for the national indoors. And we know the depth right now at the top of college tennis. This matchup here tonight, number 2 Baylor taking on number 9 Texas, going to be critical because more than anything, yeah, you want to be a top 8 seed, but you want to be a top 4 seed at this national indoor. You want to guarantee yourself at least hopefully one easier match. You don't want to face one of those top 8, top 9, top 10 teams right away. And, for both of these teams, I think they're still both looking for that first big win of the season. Let's start with our hosts, the number 2, Baylor Bears. And of course, you see Baylor colors here on the broadcast. A shout out to our friends at Baylor for allowing us this opportunity to broadcast this match. The Bears are 8-0. Beat Miami 4-0, didn't drop a point on the way to qualifying for the national indoor finals. Now they dropped the doubles point this weekend against Idaho State. We can talk about that momentarily if you'd like. But the big picture thing for me, Chris, is this is the first test for this Baylor Bear team that has a lot of familiar faces, both to college tennis and to Baylor Bear tennis fans. You bring back Boyton, you bring back Soto, you bring back La. From a singles and doubles perspective, that's a strong nucleus, regardless of what you have at the bottom of your lineup. But 4, 5, 6, there are a lot of options. Coach Woodson has turned to them early here in the season, but this feels like the first real test to see, all right, just how deep, how talented is this Baylor Bear team?
Yeah, not without disrespecting you, Coach Sean Mamie, but yeah.
Or Miami, it was a good 4-0 match. I don't mean to disrespect how they played, but this is the first.
Yeah. This is definitely the first big test, and honestly, right, based on where we've got everybody ranked, a lot of the schools up top have played at least a big match, and that's just not the case for Baylor, right? TCU and Florida played each other. Texas has had some matches. Obviously, we saw Tennessee have some matches. Ohio State, a couple big matches this weekend. This is really Baylor's first foray into playing another one of the top 10 schools. So definitely, a big test for them.
Yeah, they've dropped 2 points on the year, 8-0 overall from a record perspective. And it's interesting to note, and talking to Coach Woodson, I know they're rocking the same lineup tonight that they played against Miami in that kickoff weekend round 2 match. Boyton, he's been fine to start the season. It's not like he's taken any significant losses or has been a detriment to the team in any way. But I think if you've watched him play, he hasn't been the Adrian Boyton dominant number one, rolling through people the way we might have expected him to, given his fall results to start this season. That said, you have no doubts about him. I think Soto's played well. I think Sven Las played particularly well, both in the fall and here to start the spring season. Let's start with the returners up top. What have you seen from the Bears thus far?
Yeah, I mean, with Addy, I don't know if it's just a matter of, what the matchup is. Like, I think they end up dropping the doubles point. I think if I'm not mistaken, I'm not looking at the scores, I think he might have dropped his first set with Idaho State, right? But it was one of those, like, I mean, they're not going to lose the match, right? Yeah. And he's, at worst case, he just stays out there long enough that they clinch before it's done. But you have absolutely no reservations. If it's a big match and you need him, he's going to be there. And that's really been the case for all of these guys. I think where we're going to get to see some tests maybe is you got the freshman, right? Marco playing 4, hasn't really had a chance to show, against that upper tier competition yet, what he's capable of. So that's the big match. I'm not so really, maybe a little bit out of Finn just because he didn't get, the prime time playing time last year. So this is kind of one of the first big matches where he's playing singles for them. But Wampy played, a ton of those kinds of matches at UCF, not worried in the least about him. So I think maybe that 4-5 spot for them just to see what these guys give them, and knowing that they need to be filling the shoes, right, of the guys that they had in Nicky and Charlie Broom and Spencer Furman at 4 through 6 last year.
And we will talk certainly about the Miladinovic, Nick Stakoyak comparison that I have made in the past when we get to the singles. But you talk about the bottom of the lineup. Certainly that's where the Bears are going to be tested. I mean, they're going to be tested across the board. I want to be clear here, but that inexperience from a playing in this sort of match perspective for the Bears. You're right. Mizuchi has played in these sort of matches a bit, but for Finn Bass, for Marco Miladinovic to step up on this stage, that's the question, because they are going to be tested by this University of Texas team that comes into this match number 9 and 4-2 overall. Their losses, of course, a 4-3 to Florida at the start of the season, and then fall to Arizona as well. This team hasn't been healthy, though, throughout the course of this season. I don't think we're going to be seeing Elliot Spizzirri tonight. You look at the lineup submitted right now on the scoreboard. He is absent from singles. We'll talk about doubles during doubles. That said, when you look at this Texas team, they bring back pretty much everyone from a team that goes, I believe, 24-6 overall last season and, makes the NCAA semifinals and beat the Baylor Bears during the course of last year. Now, Baylor goes 3-1 in the 4 matches they played, but this Texas team has seen success against this Baylor team. And of course, that core for Texas is back, and it's going to start tonight with Braswell up top at number 1. Waldeeb's going to be playing in the 4 spot tonight, Harper at 5, Huang at 6. Those are players that have all lined up in this sort of match before in Texas colors. They've got that experience now, of course, at the number 2 spot for them, Pierre Bailey, the freshman who's been sensational to start his college tennis career. Richard Ciamara, he's been top 5 in the country, playing number 3 tonight for the Longhorns, the transfer from Notre Dame. It's still not a healthy Texas team, but the depth they have, the talent they have, they're in this match. I still think, even with, obviously you'd like Spizzirri, but it by no means does that swing the match definitively Baylor's way.
No, absolutely. I mean, just because they're missing Spizzirri doesn't take them out of it. And I'll tell you what, if you like, prototypical super emotional college tennis, court 5 is going to be crazy. Finn Bass, Cleve Harper. I just as soon watch those guys wrestle than play tennis. I mean, they're both thick, stocky, super athletic, and really, really loud and emotional guys. That is going to be one loud court of, every little momentum swing. You're going to hear a lot of noise coming off of that court. But yeah, Texas for sure is not thinking they're out of it. They're losing, they don't have Spizzirri, at least based off what we see in the lineups now, but hopefully a healthy CM Waldeeb. He's missed a fair amount of time early in the year. He is in the lineup. The luxury of getting to play him down at 4 and play him against the freshman, Texas has got to feel like that's a good spot for them. We'll see how it plays out, but they can't feel bad about that matchup.
Yeah, no. And, for these teams, obviously the doubles point is going to be crucial. And you look for their matchups last season, Texas actually 2-2 in the doubles point versus Baylor. So they split them in their 4 matches. Of course, again, Baylor a 3-1 split overall there, but we see now our players out on court. Let's head out to court number 1 right now and get this matchup underway. By the way, for those who listen to our Great Shot podcast to our deciding point, I am 1000% going to be adding he'd rather see them wrestle to Chris Halioris' intro moving forward. You can't give me something like that this early in the broadcast, Chris. You just can't do that. But of course, again, you see the action on court underway. We start out here at court number 1 for the Baylor Bears here today. It's going to be Sven Law, Finn Bass at that number 1 position, as they have all season for the Bears. That looks like Harper on the deuce court. Who's he playing with on the ad?
Bailey, is it? We get a good look.
Could be Ciamara. That's a Babylon. I believe that's Ciamara there on court 1. And you look in the past, Ciamara Harper played the number 1 position against Oregon in the kickoff.
It is, yeah. That's Ciamara. Ciamara and Harper at 1.
Good decision. Number 13.
Woldeeb and Bailey. Yeah, Woldeeb and Bailey are on 2. Let me see. And then
Braswell and Kwong.
Chi and Braswell on 3. Yeah.
Beautiful. We'll get to all those courts again here. 30 love for the Baylor duos. Finn Bass, Sven Law. Of course, for Finn Bass, so much success at the end of last season on the doubles court with Charlie Broom. In my opinion, they were the best doubles duo of the NCAA Sweet 16 and onward, Chris. And, for Finn now, upperclassmen on this roster, contributing here in both 5 singles positions at this number 1 double spot. It's a big step up for him. Bears need him to step up this season if they want to repeat last year's success.
Yeah, I mean, Sven Law is
number 1 in the country with 2 different partners.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who you throw out there. He's not going to be the reason if you don't get it done that you're not getting it done. So yeah, Finn's got to feel like he's got to step up into that spot because he's got, one of the best guys out there as a partner he could have.
No doubt about that. Of course, again, you look for this Texas team 4-2 overall on the year. Duo of Harper and Ciamara 13-5 though so far this season. 4-2 in the dual match season, very much reflective of that Texas record, but 13-5 overall. Coach Burke going to feel comfortable having these guys step into the number 1 spot. You see volunteer assistant coach George Goldhoff there on the near side of your screen. And again, we're going to introduce all of these players for you. We'll jump around before we lock in everywhere. See this opening serve here before we move to court 2.
And just for those wondering, you made reference in the intro, Alex, that Baylor did manage to drop the doubles point to Idaho State, and it wasn't because they, played a lower level lineup. Bass and Law did lose in a tiebreak, as well as Jacob Brum and Miladinovic lost at 3 dubs in a tiebreak. So some tight doubles there, but yeah, those are the teams that went down.
And you see a couple of big forehands there from Finn Bass. So love 30. We're going to stick here on court 1. And we get a comment there from Blake Castay. I hope I pronounced that right, Blake. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks to all of you for tuning in. Says it sounds like a zoo. I'll say this. The play site cameras, it's like how you rig a stadium and you blare music in. I swear they're rigged at Baylor to make it sound loud. But, of course, Coach Woodson, there's a reason this is at Monday night. He wants to build a big crowd here, make this a top 10 rivalry sort of environment. It's going to sound rowdy on the stream. We'll try to be as silent as we can, let you all enjoy the atmosphere. Big serve, big coach, 15-30. Sven Law That's what you expect the senior to do here in this moment. The big inside-out forehand. 3 break point chances coming up early for the Bears here on 1. Finn Bass with the roar. Break goes to the Bears. 2-love. They lead here early on court number 1. Let's hop over now to court number 2. Chris mentioned this a bit earlier. You see them here competing for the Texas Longhorns. See them wall deep. Partnering there with Pierre Bailey, the freshman, right? It's Bailey and Waldeep here at 2.
Yep.
Taking on the Baylor Bear duo. Pablo Mizuchi, Tia Soto. See, early break for the Bears here on 2 as well. That energy. The Bears right now in the doubles action.
Not that Texas probably paid much attention to the Idaho State match, but probably having Baylor drop the doubles point there wasn't something they looked at. Oh, great! Now they're now they're going to really be fired up for doubles.
Love. Bears on court number 2. Don't mean to cut you off, Chris, but I want to continue to belabor the point here. It is all Baylor Bears right now. Let's go to court 3 where it's 2-love Bears. And this is the team that I think if you're going to get the Bears, this is the one you play around with. It's Paralek and Adrian Boyton. Paralek, obviously, plenty of success in doubles throughout his time at TCU. Boyton, I don't want to say he's inexperienced, or I don't want to say he's inexperienced at doubles, but that's been a work in progress throughout his tenure as a Baylor Bear.
Yeah, I mean, it's a guy, obviously, big serve, big strokes, but not necessarily the best doubles game. You hope you just get the big serve out of it.
Competing here. Excuse me. Bears. So aggressive here at the start. Energy everywhere. And taking on the Texas duo, Chi Huang, Micah Braswell. Huang, the last player remaining on this Texas roster, competed and won the 2019, there it is, 2019 NCAA championship. Big serve there from Chi. 15:30. You see scoreboards up now. Right side of your screen. Bears in a little bit of trouble. Let's go 2-1. Break points down. Texas looking to respond here and stop the bleeding. Court number 1. We're right now Sven La, 15:40 down, facing a couple break points.
I'm going to assume that got it to 15:40. Obviously, it wasn't.
Well, I think yeah, here we go.
Yeah, we saw the live score showed 15:40. We were a hair behind on video. I think it's 15:40 now.
I think we're still here on 3. If we can, again, super producer Daniel Westoff. And over to 1. Here we go. It looks like Longhorns do get the break back. So now we go back to court number 3. Baylor's got a couple break point chances still to extend their lead there. 30-40 there. 2-love Baylor on court 3.
There we go.
The double fault. Baylor Bears 3-love lead here on court number 3. That's 2 breaks. Meanwhile, it's a 2-1 break lead for Bears on 2. That's where we go next. Matias Soto on Pablo Mizuchi. This is your 2 doubles team, Chris. I'll tell you what. I don't know about 3, but Bass and Law at 1, Soto and Mizuchi at 2. That's a good foundation to start. And I still feel good about the talent at 3. I'm just saying I feel certain about 1 and 2 here.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, Mizuchi was, I don't know if they ever got to number 1, but he was a top 10 doubles team at UCF, I think with DeCamps maybe.
Yeah.
Gabe DeCamps and then obviously Soto last year. Wow.
You love to see it if you're Baylor Bear fans.
Yeah, Soto last year, before they even start the season, goes off and wins the Futures event. I think it was a 15K in Fayetteville with Charlie Broom. Obviously he can play doubles as well. So, yeah, a couple really good pairs up top. And then, a luxury to do a little playing around at 3 and see what you got.
Meanwhile, again, here for the Longhorns, they are incorporating new pieces, particularly without Spizzirri. Spizzirri and Walby partnering together throughout their tenure for the Longhorns. You take him out, that's 1 doubles team removed. Now you're mixing pairings. Of course, you keep Ciamara Harper together at 1. And again, they got that break back there. But Walby, Bailey here working together. Braswell, Harper, new pieces. Same faces, but new fit, I suppose, for the Longhorns in doubles. +1 coach, 30-15 now. Meanwhile, let's go to court number 1. Baylor Bears looking to get that break right back. 15-40 for Lon Bass. Looks like that's Ciamara serving near side of your screen. Bass backhand sends long there. A reminder, these doubles points, whichever team can capture 2 out of the 3 sets earns that doubles point. These sets no ad scoring. Tiebreaker at 6-all. Team that wins it takes a 1-0 lead into our 6 singles matches. It's a big return from Sven Law there, Chris. Bears get the break right back 3-1. It has been all Baylor to start.
Yeah, they momentarily got the break back, and now they're back down a break on every court.
Just tough start here if you're the Longhorns, who again are without their number 1 singles and number 1 doubles player, Elliot Spizzirri, who's battling injuries all fall. Again, to start here, of course, with the national indoors 2 weeks away. If you are Coach Burke, you probably worry for Spizzirri. Save him for then, right? You throw this match away from him from a health perspective. In backs.
Texas can't find a break this early on here.
Do you think this hurts George Goldhoff, who, of course, standout player for Texas for his 4 years? Does this hurt him at all, or does that? Because honest to God, the only person who might be happier about that Finn Bass volley than Finn is George.
And this is not hurting George at all.
Yeah.
Those allegiances are gone.
30 love here for Bass. Bears energy here at the start. You can hear it on your stream. Gotta love college tennis, Chris. This is what it's all about.
I'd like to see a little closer doubles point, but sure. Baylor is just running away on 1 and 3 here.
Bears hold 4-4-1. Let's go to 2. Longhorns have steadied the ship there. Now 40-15. Turns into 40-30 here for Waldeb and Bailey. They got to break back for 2-all. Meanwhile, you're right, it is all Bears on court number 3. And we're excited to introduce a new feature into our broadcast here today because, of course, in college tennis, there are so many things happening at once. We've incorporated a split screen feature into these matches when we're watching multiple matches at once. That's why I want to keep our eye on court number 3 as well, if we can. Super producer Daniel Westoff. As we look here, court numbers 2 and 3. As right now on court 3, it is all Baylor Bears. Oh, we do see the Longhorns hold, so perhaps we can just go to 3 for now. See if the Longhorns can't get on the board. Can again here, court number 3. I think we're still on 2. 40-30 here, or excuse me, 30-15 here. Ball a little bit long. I'll tell you right now, it does look like Boyton and Teddy are the answer. And you always feel good when you can sneak someone like Boyton that forehand on the 3 doubles line.
Yeah, I mean, the serve and the forehand are never the issue. So if those are the parts that he gets to sit back and rely on, they'll be in good shape.
Braswell holds, though, for 1-4 here. Still, Baylor leads on court 3 and court number 1, where we're going to go back to now. Court number 1, where it's 30 love here for Texas. They trail 1-4. Top 15 duo, Ciamara and Harper, stepping into that number 1 spot here today. Longhorns hold 4-2-4 here on court number 1. We're going to stay here on 1, but again, I do want to introduce our new split screen feature. We're watching here on 1, Bears with a 4-2 lead. We're also going to keep an eye on court number 3 right now, where again, Bears break leads 4-1 there. It's actually a double break 4-1 lead for Baylor on court number 3. We have that option now. Shout out to super producer Daniel Westoff introducing the split screen. Let's do it now. Let's watch the action. Court 1 and court number 3. Baylor Bears up. Breaks of serve on both of these courts right now. Baylor serving 4-1 on 3. It's 4-2 on court 1. It's pretty cool, ain't it, Chris?
Oh, yeah. I love these kinds of features, just like I love, pulling up 2, 4, or 6. It gets odd in the odd numbers, but 2, 4, 6 courts on the play site stream is just, love it.
You're in heaven. And these are the 2 courts you want to watch right now if you're a Baylor Bear fan. 1 and 3, where your team up by breaks. Left side of your screen, 4-2, 15 all. on court 1, right side of your screen, 4-1 love 15. And we're going to stay here in this split screen through these service games. Longhorns only down 1 break on court 1. They're down 2 breaks on court 3.
Got to feel like court 3 just seems to be a double break, and Baylor up in their service game, closing in on 5-1, seems to be getting away. They've got to find something on court 1 to get a break back here.
I've been so impressed by Teddy Paralak on court 3 for Baylor thus far, who hasn't lined up in the singles lineup for them yet. Again, that's a testament to the talent, the depth on this Baylor roster, that they're able to say, hey, Teddy, sorry, you're going to play 7 today. You're gonna, we need you at your loudest. A guy that talented, but he has embraced the doubles role. It hasn't held him back at all, and I do think there are some answers here. Boyton, Paralak, who you see up 40-15 now on the right side of your screen. Meanwhile, it's 40-30 game point opportunities here on both courts for the Bears.
Which is, it's crazy to me to think, and unless he's not fully healthy, that you've got to line up good enough that you're not going to play Teddy as good as we saw him play at NCAAs and just dismantling Kyle Seelig. I mean, he was so good at the NCAA tournament there, and to have the luxury of putting him in your 7 spot, that's crazy.
See the Bears, by the way, hold 4, I believe 5-2. So now we're here on 3. But the Bears get the hold 4-5-1. So it's all Baylor here in the doubles point. They're 1 game away on court 1 and court 3. You see those scoreboards top right of your screen. Of course, Alex Gruskin here with Chris Hallior's ponytail Chris, I should call him here. He tightened up for tonight's broadcast. I should have shaved this. I've got my Cleveland beard here. Apologize for that, listeners. We now go here again, 1-5. Baylor Bears serving here. Of course, we'll keep our eye on court 1, go split screen if we have to. For now, we're keeping an eye on 1, but we're staying here on 3.
It's the Cleveland beard, huh?
That's what I tell myself. It's not laziness.
I thought after all the tweets I saw, maybe that's just the way Stricker liked it.
All right, wrestler. 15 love here, Longhorns.
They're just ripping away with a 5-1 lead here now.
That was Adrian Boyton's, I'm hitting this ball through you. Like, I just would like to be clear. It's either back fence or through you.
It was clearly just a bad shot because he was aiming for the chest.
No, that one's for the crowd. If we can, single screen, let's go to 1. Right now, chances for Longhorns to just get the hold here. And now we're going to keep our eye on court number 3. Again, if both these teams going to serve simultaneously, we'll go split screen. I'll keep my eye on 3 for now. We're here on 1. 4 game point chances for the Longhorns to keep it a 1-break deficit. There's, by the way, 2 break points on 2. We're going to let that slide for now. Keep our eyes here on the ones closest to the finish line. Nice return there from Sven Log. Aggressive down the line. 40-15. That's the luxury. That's why you build the 5-2 lead. You go, hey, I'm just going to rip this. What do you think? They're like, who in the crowd will find this most impressive? And you're like, red shirt, right there. Wow. Good hands there.
Yeah.
From Cleve Harper. So hold for the Longhorns. Baylor a chance to serve it out here, 5-3. They've also got the chance to serve it out on court 3. So we're going to go split screen here. We don't want to miss out on any of the action. Chances here for the Baylor Bears. Close out the doubles point. We can go to 1 for now. I didn't realize it was a changeover there. 5-2 Baylor. I apologize for that. Let's go back just to 1. 5-3 here. We'll go back to that split screen as soon as they're back out on court. Have to be impressed and happy with the performance thus far for Coach Michael Woodson.
Yeah, what could you be disappointed about here? Two-man game. Neither one of them wanted to give up.
That to me was ping pong on a tennis court. It was forehand, 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 forehand.
Yeah.
We see court 3 walking out now. Let's go split screen if we can, super producer Daniel Westoff. Courts 1 and 3. Baylor Bears serving for the doubles point here.
A little life for Texas here on court 1.
I like it. Love 30. Good play there. Meanwhile, big serve, big poach. Love Bears on 3. Tell you what, if the Longhorns get to break point here, we'll focus in just on 1. So that would obviously be a big break there for the Longhorns, who also right now down a break on court 2. We haven't spent much time there, but Soto, Misucci getting the break for 4-3. Better late than never. You're the Longhorns there on 3. How about that? Let's go to court number 1. All right, Texas. Welcome to this top 10 matchup. Love 40 here for CMR and Harper. Connected with a couple of returns here. That's what a top 15 duo looks like. The first blink for the Bears. Finn Bass with the double. So we're back on serve 4-5 there on one. The problem is it too little, too late for Texas? You see the Longhorns challenging Boyton there at the net. Paralek calling that ball deep, confirmed by the chair. So 15-30 now, 30 all. Meanwhile, it is Baylor Bear. I'm keeping my eye on court number 2, Westhoff. We may need to go split screen as the Bears have taken a 5-3 lead there on 2. So perhaps in the end, that should have been a court we were watching more closely. We'll keep an eye on 2. Right now, 30 all here. Bears 2 points away from set number 1. Volley sails long. 30-40. You see Coach Van der Merwe chatting with his number 3 doubles team. Now, of course, this is the luxury for Baylor. They have a double break lead here. Still have another chance to serve for this set, even if broken. One break for the Longhorns. So it took them 30 minutes. Texas finally makes a push here. 3-5 here on 3. Let's go to court number 2 now. Texas serving to stay alive.
We are getting one good momentum swing here, but is it enough? They're still down on every court. At least they're back on serve on 1, but still down breaks on 2 and 3. They've got to get one of those back now.
Good hands there from Bailey. Unfazed by that Mizuchi forehand. 40-15 here. Longhorns at least can force Baylor have to serve it out. Keep our eyes on court 3 as well. The Bears should have another chance to serve it out regardless, but that's the hold here on 2. So let's go back to 3. Right now, Texas 3-5, 15 all though here. And again, if you're just tuning in, Texas today playing without their number 1 singles and doubles player, Elliot Spizzirri, out with an injury. National indoors 2 weeks away. You don't want to push it too soon if you're Coach Bruce Burke. Of course, you'll get to see the Bears later on this season as well in Big 12 conference play.
Good action there.
Good hands. I think that's Chi-Chi there at the net. Chi-Chi Huang.
Very active.
Best name in college tennis. Playing like a national champion does. Now. Meanwhile, I'm keeping my eye on court number 1 as well. Longhorns making a push. Harper, Ciamara, 40-15 there on 1. Or they just hold, excuse me, it's 4-5 all there. Interesting. Texas making their push. Confirmed there from the chair. Meanwhile, actually, super producer Daniel Westhoff. We're going to go to 2 here next. Double fault from the Bears, from the Longhorns, excuse me, 40-30. Right now in court number 2, Baylor serving for it. Up 30 love. Let's go to court number 2. just right away here, and I'll keep our eye on 3 in case they get to a deuce point match point, so we'll have the split available if that happens. But for now, we're here on court. Let's go to court number 2 again if we can. Stuff there from Bailey, though, so 30-15.
As fast as Baylor got out on 1 and 3, it would be nuts to think that the court 2 would be the first one they might win.
What a turn of events that would be.
They were up 5-2 on 1 and 5-1 on 3.
Of course, there's only the 1 break on 1.
It's a deuce match point on court 3.
So let's go split screen if we can, 2 and 3. Here we go, as Chris mentioned, deuce point match point coming up on the right side of your screen, 30-15 here. Now 40-15, so match points for the Bears. Long talk there for Baylor with Coach Van der Merwe. Here could get loud. Probably should have called for the slow clap. Might be too late now. Maybe they had one live. Here we go. Fought off on court 3. Let's just go 2. Let's go court 2. Bears take the double set here on to 6-4 for Soto and Mizuchi. Boy, has that pair been successful early on here in their tenure. Meanwhile, it's a changeover on 3, so let's go back to court number 1. As Chris mentioned, Baylor Bears were up 5-2 here. It was only 1 break of serve, but a 5-2 lead. Finbass served for the set. Now they find themselves down 15-30. And again, La Bass very good this fall, as were the Texas duo of Harper and Ciamara. 13 in the country, 13-5 overall, Chris. Never count Cleve Harper out.
No.
Loudest man in college tennis?
He's, I don't know loudest, but he's definitely pretty loud. But I think for all of our sakes, it should be Bass Law. Because the La Bass just...
I don't know, Bass Law, Bass Law sounds like a pro shop.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're going to keep our eye 30. Meanwhile, of course, yes, court number 3. Let's go back there now. Baylor Bears serving for it. Of course, we'll keep an eye on 1, go split screen if we get a break point there, because, of course, that all of a sudden becomes that much more relevant here. Love 15 in the service game of Adrian Boyton, I believe. Junior, still have 1 year of eligibility left after this season, serving. Come on now.
Good switch there from Texas, but they made that ball look a little harder, I think, than it was.
I just love the action and the fluidity, the motion of it all. 15 all here. Meanwhile, let's go split screen if we can. Court 1, break point chances for Texas. What a turnaround that would be. 4 straight games for them there at 1, 30-40. Forehand goes haywire for the Longhorns on 1 to break up a deuce point. Meanwhile, they connect on 3, though, so 15-30. That deuce point on 1, much more significant than you thought it would have been 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, and that 4, I mean, Missed the second forehand, but absolutely ripped the first one.
Yeah, I can't believe he missed that second one. I thought the first one was for the kill.
Yeah.
That's a hold for the Bears on court number 165. Let's go full screen 3 now. 15:30. Adrian Boyton serving. Chi Huang, it looks like, returning. Leave on the far side of your screen. Is that a double?
I believe it was deep, yeah.
15:40 now. 3 break point chances for the Longhorns to get this, Chris. Get back on serve here on court number 3. Those are not words you thought you'd be saying out loud.
Yeah, not 15 minutes ago, this looked all but over. And that's the Boyton serve.
Just been waiting for him to land a first serve. It's like that's been the big difference here. Just got a little loose. High percentage plays.
I think that's probably a little bit of the reason he's never quite found his groove in doubles, right? I mean, obviously placement a little more important than sheer power. Yeah, it's nice to have a big serve, but you'd rather get it in the right spot in doubles.
Heavy parallax.
If you can make that, they're all the right spot.
That's why people say, why have a one-handed backhand if for nothing else to be able to do that on the volley. Beautiful stuff there from Teddy. Deuce point coming up. Slow clap it up for me, Westhoff.
Did you hit a bomb again?
Bomb body. Maybe the slow clap threw him off.
Just wide.
So the break to Texas, 5-all. This is what these Longhorns do. 10-1 last season in 4-3 matches. 10-1 in 4-3 matches. Special
Better get
stuff.
back to court 1 here, Westhoff.
Yeah, we're right away again. This is
could
the
be
problem.
Short-lived.
They've had their back against the walls this entire doubles set, and it's very fun when they crawl their way out, but every so often you get stuck in the mud. 15-30 for Ciamara. Now 30-all. That's a nice +1 ball there. See head coach Bruce Burke. Locked in here on court 1. This would be highway robbery if the Longhorns come down from Austin and take this doubles point.
At least if they both go to breakers, it shouldn't be simultaneous. We should just about finish this one before court 3 would ever get there.
Well, we are going to a breaker here on 1. Longhorns make a push. 6-all on court number 1. Of course, let's go split screen in the meantime. Tiebreaker here on court 1. On court number 3, it's 5-all, 15-all. And your matchups, court 1, it's Law and Bass taking on Ciamara and Harper. Court number 3, Boyton, Paralek taking on Huang, Braswell. Oh, miscommunication there.
Yeah.
On court number 3. That wasn't even an I form. That was...
No, I'm not a fan of that
That was the candy. What was it? The candy cane.
I don't even know what you call it. Yeah, it's like it's an exaggerated eye. I mean, you just
The candy cane. I think I just came up with it. You're welcome. Lock it in, Westhoff. Meanwhile, Baylor making a little bit of a push there to start 1-0 on 1. 2:30 here on 3. Love the aggression there from the Longhorns. This is a calloused group Coach Burke has on his hands. Again, played so many close matches last season. Knocked off the Bears in Baylor last year. Wonder if the Bears will have that on their mind the way Ohio State had it on their minds. Go to court number 3 solo here now as break point chances for the Baylor Bears. 30-40 here. You're so right, Chris. It's like the short-lived victories for these Texas Longhorns. That's been the name of the game here in doubles. All right, Adrian. How do you do? Backhand down the line. 6-5 Bears on 3. Let's go back to 1 for that breaker. But Chris, too funny.
I'm not sure Texas has had a lead at all in any of these matches. Every time they get close, they give it right back up.
And so here we go. On 1, we pick things up with a mini break going to the Bears now. 2-1. Of course, we'll keep our eye on 3. If they're serving for it, we'll go back to it as soon as they get on court. As a matter of fact, Daniel Westhoff, just go back to 3. Don't want to miss out on any of that game. Of course, they've already been broken twice serving for that set on 3. But they give it right back to all. Here on 1. The 3 now where it's Teddy Paralek serving near side of your screen. Teddy was broken serving for this match. 5-2. Tell you what, Chris, it does feel like Texas has been the more aggressive teams in doubles, but Baylor has caught them with their hand in the cookie jar a couple of times on coaches.
Yeah, I mean, that's if you want to play the aggressor, that you kind of, you live by it and you die by it. I still like the play. I like the play.
I think that's how they've gotten back into this. Away here. Bears from taking a 1-0 lead. Give me that slow clap, Westhoff. 4, love, 4 match points here for the Bears. Coach Vandenovic, the word of wisdom. For Teddy Paralek. One fought off. Another one here for Texas. It's that aggression, though. You love to see the turn, the move forward to the net.
Let's go, Bears.
Baylor Bears, 7-5 decision here on court number 3. Was it more complicated than it needed to be? No doubt about that. But in the end, your number 2 team in the country taking a 1-0 lead at home in this top 10 battle. Chris, let's go back to you. You hear it from the crowd. SEC. This Baylor Bear crowd loves trolling these Texas Longhorns here now. We did the same thing to Oklahoma in the football game we happened to be at as a Cracked Racquets group. I mean, but let's focus on the tennis here. What do you do if you're Coach Woodson right now? Do you say good performance, bad performance? What are you telling your guys? That was a strange one.
Yeah, I don't think you let them get away with sort of the what seemed to be a letdown kind of in the mid to later stages of those first sets. I think he gets on them a little bit in the change in between singles and doubles and tells them, hey, it was a great start, but I mean, 5-1 on 3, 5-2 on 1, and we let them both get back into it at 5-all. That's just, we can't do that. You guys get a lead like that, you got to put your foot on the gas and go. So let's get focused and be ready for singles, because you can't afford to do that, when we come out for the singles matches.
No, I think he starts by going, Matthias, Mizuchi, you guys killed it. Way to go. And then he goes, you guys, what was that? Because I agree with you. And especially this Texas team, which again has this background of these 4-3 comebacks and this never say die attitude. They keep everything they do close. If you have a chance to step on the neck, you have to step on the neck. And I do think if you're Coach Woodson, you take the doubles point, but to your point, you now have an excuse and a justified excuse to light into him a bit and say that was fine, but that was not our best. We're better than that. If we get leads in singles here, we have to shut the door. Meanwhile, I actually think it's a glass, completely flipped for Coach Burke, or I think you completely flipped the script. You say, guys, that was not a good doubles performance, and we almost freaking won it. If you don't think we can win this match, I don't know what to tell you. And none of those guys, of course, they'll all have the belief. But if anything, I think you're Texas, you play that doubles point, you still almost win it. You say, hey, we've got the cojones. We've got the chops. Let's take it to these guys.
Yeah, again, even without Spazzeri, I don't think legitimately that the Texas guys feel like, oh, we can't win this match. I don't think that's the way they feel at all. They think that they can beat these guys, even without Spazzeri, even at Baylor. Coach Burke will get them ready to go. And they just need to come out and not get buried early. I mean, they have to avoid the kind of start in singles that they had in doubles. They need to get a couple leads, throw up at least 3 first sets in there, but don't come out and get whitewashed and drop 5 first sets after losing the doubles point.
Yeah, no, we want to see energy. That was the biggest thing for Texas. They didn't have it at the start of the doubles point. They were blitzed on 2 of 3 courts. And, again, you just can't let that happen in singles, particularly when you're down 1-0. And of course, we will get back to the singles action. We'll go through our singles lineup. And of course, we'll go to all of these courts as the action resumes. We're going to step away for 2 minutes. I don't know. Are these players back on court? I'll get word from super producer Daniel Westoff. I imagine they're all currently meeting in the huddle right now. So with that in mind, let's step away for 30 seconds, for a minute, or 5 minutes or so, of course. We will be back, though, for the singles action. For now, you are watching our Cracked Racquets coverage of Baylor versus Texas here. Top 10 battle in the 2022 college tennis season. Welcome back, everyone, to our Cracked Racquets coverage of a top 10 Monday night matchup between number 2 Baylor and number 9 Texas. It was the Baylor Bears in dramatic fashion, ? taking the doubles point, ultimately earning wins at the number 2 and 3 doubles positions. With that, let's take a 1-0 lead into our 6 singles matches. Now, quickly before we get on to court, just a reminder, 6 singles matches, all worth 1 point to the team score, 2 out of 3 sets, no ad scoring. I imagine most of you know the deal, but in case we have any new viewers to the college tennis format here, that's the setup. Chris, quick synopsis. What do you expect here in singles?
Well, we see quickly, from what we had seen, we see Texas put Evan McDonald in and pull Chi-Chi Wong at 6. I expect a lot of Baylor is expecting some things from the top of the lineup. Texas, if they're going to make a push, is probably going to have to make a push, starting at 3 down in the bottom of that lineup. Probably need to get 3 of the 4 of the bottom and somehow split those top 2 is probably the way Texas finds 4 points.
Yeah, of course, Texas, no Elliot Spizzirri for them at the top of their singles lineup. He was 11-7 for the Longhorns at the top spot last season. But with that said, let's get to the action. We start out on court number 1. You know that serving motion. Adrian Boyton, quick 40-love lead here against super sophomore Micah Braswell of the University of Texas. These two did not play in any of last season's 4 matchups. You see the scoreboard there on your right side. Boyton holding for 1-love here on court 1. We'll get back to that. Let's go to court number 2. Superstar freshman for the University of Texas, Pierre Bailey, taking on the veteran senior Matias Soto for Baylor University. I don't know why I said the university there. Sorry, I just felt like I had another word in that sentence. You see Baylor Bear step up inside the forehand. Chris, this is going to be my first time locking in on Bailey. I mean, from everything, futures title, obviously, and just everything you've seen, it's a lot to like about his game, right?
Yeah, and I watched some of his match when they played Florida, and what I saw was a lot of grind. Wasn't a kid that was going to overpower you, but he was going to try to make you hit a lot of balls.
You see a little controversy here. Was there an overrule?
I think Bailey's just asking the chair to get them to spell his name right. But the kid at Baylor that puts the names in there probably went, nah, they didn't spell that right. I'm going to make it right.
That's fine. Now you look here. Long conversation going on.
Still goes, Soto's not happy about something. He doesn't want to leave.
I think he didn't like the call on that return. I think he called it long, and then he said, no, I corrected myself. And then you say, no, he called that ball out. And I think they're playing a let here, and there's some sort of miscommunication. So I think Soto's petition was that he called it out. I believe Bailey said, no, I didn't. I started to, but I probably didn't call it out. That seems to be the miscommunication. So we're going to play a let. 40-15 here for Bailey.
This would be an interesting matchup for me with what I saw when Bailey played. I think he was playing Shelton, if I'm not mistaken, at Florida, and he just forced Ben into an all-grind first set that was not to Ben's liking before he did finally take over. But it'll be interesting to see if Soto will be content to stay back or if one of the two becomes the aggressor, because I could see both of these guys just sitting at the baseline and playing long rallies all day.
Absolutely. You see here again, Bailey holding 4-1 love early on court number 2. We move here to 3 now. Sven Law, veteran senior here at the top, last year on the job in Waco. Taking on another super senior here in Richard Ciamara. Spending his last year of eligibility in Texas, 4 years in South Bend. This feels like a must-have if you're Texas, right? Law's been better this season, struggled last year. You look for the Baylor Bear, was 12-10 during the dual match season, but obviously felt like from the start things went awry for Law last year. Much better here this spring still. If you're Texas down 1-0, Ciamara from the top 5 singles player. This is a must, right?
You would think so, and Sven's such an up and down guy. I mean, if he's on he can play with anybody, but at the same time, he can let anyone play with him. So it's a spot that, given that you need 4 matches, for sure Texas needs to take advantage of that and win this one. And I think they have to win here. I think they have to win at 4. 3 and 4 are 2 must-win matches for Texas.
Big early 30-all. Oh, Sven. Oh, gets away with it. This is crazy. I'll say this. You saw that point, viewers. Number 3 singles. I think we've got 2 top 1,000 players in the world right now on our hands. Number 3 singles, Chris. That's your point for 30. That's your point for 40-30.
Yeah.
Watch college tennis, folks. You're all watching, so I don't know why I'm yelling at you. But yell at your friends. You like Kesmenovic? How about Miladinovic?
You know what I love about these broadcasts, Justin? It never fails. I saw we had Ethan Maas up there from Virginia. We got Blake Casday chiming in here from San Diego, wanting to know what the odds of us doing a San Diego match are. You guys get the live scoring and the streams up, Blake? Absolutely. Both Seb and Ryan are good friends of the show, if you will. So I'm sure we can make something happen out there.
4 words. Show me the money. Just kidding. Just kidding. Deuce point coming up here. Big return from Ciamara. I'll tell you what, we knew coming into the season to get him from the University of Notre Dame. It's going to be a major addition to this Texas lineup despite all of the returning talent. Ciamara starting strong here. To love. On court number 3. You mentioned 4 as a must for Texas. Well, right now, it's all freshman Marko Miladinovic, who dropped his first set of the kickoff weekend to William and Mary in singles at that number 4 spot, but has slowly begun to work his way into form here in college tennis. We go now to court number 4, where Miladinovic has a significant lead over Siem Waldy. Waldy, I believe, technically still a sophomore, 3rd-year sophomore, but still 3 years of eligibility. Of course, he's dealt with a bunch of nagging injuries to start this season as well, but right now, Miladinovic doing a great Nick Stakoyak impression. 2-love up here, although Nick never got off to this quick to start.
I mean, you're going to have to get him to wear the headband or something. I mean,
I don't know if his hair is as good as Nick. That might be the one place where the comparison falls.
there's something about Waldeeb's game for me that just makes him he's very hard to read, because he's a guy that you might have a tendency to think isn't trying because he looks, maybe a little lackadaisical, but it's not the case. It's just that's his demeanor.
You see here 2 more breakpoint chances for Milligan, which serve called out. Waldeeb in disbelief here. Coach going to point to a spot. Waldeeb Nothing you can do now. Miladinovic, 3-love here on court number 4. Folks, it's college tennis. We're back.
Let the calls begin on court 4.
And none of us can make a judgment there. Far sideline, other side of the stream. Waldeep, of course, last season 10-10 overall in singles. Top half of the lineup went 1-1-2 in the 4 matches against Baylor. Crowd responding to Miladinovic. They have his back. 3-love Bears here on 3. Let's go to 5 now. Again, we want to introduce all of these singles matches for you before we lock in, before we split screen, do all the fun things. Finn Bass, 2-1 break of serve lead here early on Cleve Harper. Harper, so exceptional for the Longhorns last season. 20-6 overall, 17-4 at the number 4 singles position. You now get Harper here on court 5. I feel like that's gotta be a lock. Finn Bass with the strong start. And of course, you look for Bass last season, 8-1 in dual matches, 15-3 overall. Didn't play in the singles lineup come the NCAA tournament, but big fall for him, both in the college ranks and the futures ranks. You see the forehand right away. You see the weapon he possesses. 130-love here. This is an interesting litmus test sort of match for Finn Bass, Chris.
Well, yeah, I mean, Cleve Harper he's a steady, solid guy. It's a good test. It's not quite, I think there are probably a little, what you might say on paper, a little higher level, but this is a really solid guy and definitely a good test for Finn. First big match for him in the singles lineup. And a great test on the emotions too. Like I said, both of these guys are super emotional, but Cleve's gonna let you know, and it's gonna, unless Finn can just front run right from the start, you give Cleve just a little bit of an opening, a little lead, a break, anything, and he's going to get under your skin.
Last season, when the Longhorns were able to defeat Baylor, they took the doubles point, then got wins 3, 4, 5. Court number 1, Spizzirri over Boyton as well. Back forehand from Finn Bass. Too heavy there. He holds for 3-1 early lead for him over Texas's Cleve Harper. Let's go to our final match here, court number 6. As Chris mentioned, lineup change for the Longhorns. Evan McDonald in here on court number 6. A bunch bottom of the lineup for the Longhorns last season. McDonald 13-11 overall on the year in dual matches, taking on Juan Pablo Mizuchi. Let me ask you this, Chris, as you see the point in the big roar Baylor crowd loving themselves some Mizuchi here on 6. But let me ask you this, Chris. Mizuchi plays, and we had a couple things. Adamiso, great name, Adamiso, says that was a let. We play lets here in Division I college tennis, just for those of you unaware. So no lets on the serve. If it hits the top of the net cord, lands in the service box, you continue to play the point. No let is called. But let me ask you this, Chris. One match, Mizuchi versus Furman. Who do you take?
Oh, wow.
Here's why I say that. Because you look for the Baylor Bears last season. Spencer Furman, 23-3 overall in dual matches, 16-3 at the 6 singles position. And yet, I'm not saying they got better, but I don't think they got worse either.
Yeah, the difference is with one match is right. Anything can happen. I think the upside is higher with Mizuchi, but Furman was just, I mean, he was steady. You don't get bad days out of Spencer Furman, right? I mean, and to play him at 6, he was going to do what he did and go 23-3, right? Mizuchi may or may not put that up. His lows may be lower than Spencer's lows, but his high will probably be higher than his highs. And if it comes to the point where you need it, and he's got that game for when you need it, when you're playing a Florida or an Ohio State or whoever that may be what they need.
Absolutely. We see here again McDonald 40-15. Meanwhile, we got a couple of lopsided results across the board. We're going to flex some of our muscles after this game point. 2 invested here in McDonald 40-30. Keep us on serve here, but a couple of lopsided starts.
Yeah, McDonald, an interesting matchup indoors. I think. I mean, he's got some decent pace on the ball. Should have a good indoor game to challenge Mizuchi. Probably a little more power than Chi would have had, but.
Can we talk about this
can
crowd?
The consistency be there? Oh, the crowds.
They're ready to roar here. Second serve for McDonald. Listen to the Bears. Look at the bench go. Break Mizuchi. 4-2 lead here on court number 6. The energy right now for the Baylor Bears. In the meantime, let's go to court number 4. Miladinovic 4-1, 15 love up. We're also keeping an eye on court number 1 where Chris, you're not going to believe this, 5 love Adrian Boyton over super sophomore Michael Braswell for Texas. So we're keeping an eye on 1. We'll go split screen there as soon as the action's back. These are your 2 closest to the finish line of the first set right now. Miladinovic, a double break 4-1 lead on 4. Ditto for Boyton, 5 love on 1. As soon as they come back on court, we'll go split screen there.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly the start we said Texas didn't want to get. They are down at least a break on every court except for Ciamara on court 3. Every other court is a break or more at the moment, and if they manage to let 5 first sets get away, it's going to take a Michigan-like comeback from indoors to come back from dubs and 5 sets down.
And for the record, Ciamara had chances to go up 4 love there, so even 3-1 feels like a win if you're Baylor. Of course, Chris referring to a match that I think lost my voice officially. That 2020 National Indoors, Michigan takes doubles, 5 first sets, ends up losing in the semifinals to USC. And Texas 10-1 in 11 4-3 matches last year. Just keep that in mind. See court 1 now, back in action. Boyton, 5 love now, 15. It's a whitewash. Do we know? Has he won a point?
Yeah, it's a golden set. Yeah, at this point, I think Braswell, he doesn't want to let Boyton serve to start the second, but otherwise, I'd say just give him the 6 love set because it's a superstitious thing with tennis players. You don't want to win 6 love. Like 6-1's okay. 6 love, that's bad juju.
Try not to disagree more. Meanwhile, again, nice little swing there for Texas. Waldy making a push on 4. Still, break point chance on 4. Game point chances 40-30 for Miladinovic on 4. Meanwhile, if you can, Westhoff, can you prepare court number 3 to replace court number 4 perhaps in the split screen? Court number 3. Another match we're keeping our eye on. Sven Law's got break point chances to get us back on serve there. Mizuchi 5-2 lead. Soto 3-1 lead now. Let's go full court 4 if we can, super producer Daniel Westoff. Full on court number 4. We're right now to deuce point here.
Oh.
Yep. Coming up for Miladinovic. You saw there Sven La unable to get the break. Ciamara holds 4-4-1. I call him Steady Eddie. Marko Miladinovic. 5-1 lead here. Man, Chris, what a start for the Bears. As we go, by the way, and I apologize, let's go back to court number 1. What a start for the Bears.
Yeah. 5-1, 5-2, 5-love, 3-1. What more could you ask? And the doubles point. I mean,
yeah, we've been here. Here's the thing, we've been here.
Yeah, you've got to close them out, but I mean, you've got to think you're looking really good for, even if one of them gets away from you at this point that you're up a break in, it's okay. It's 4 first sets. 4 first sets in doubles feels pretty good.
No doubt you're not going to count out Braswell when 20-5 his freshman season, top half of the lineup. Serve. I thought that Boyton forehand return was out. Turns out it's in. That's why Boyton's up 5-love, folks. And now he's got a set point to take the bagel. 6-love first set. Who says Monday night's not the right time for a bagel? Not this guy.
He's going to bring me coffee with him.
No flavored cream cheese.
I don't know. This bagel feels kind of like a hazelnut to me.
It's a hazelnut bagel indeed. Adrian Boyton, what a start. That's the player we thought we'd see this fall. 6-love, first set here at number 1 singles. Let's go over now to court number 6. Juan Pablo Mizuchi 2 points away. 5-2, 30 off. We can, super producer Daniel Westoff, throw that scoreboard up on the board as well. You guys can see that dominance right now for the Baylor Bears across the board.
Yeah.
I mean, Mizuchi's just, that's the ceiling. You're right, Chris. This is the ceiling.
And yeah, that's why I talk about, exactly, the upside. That is not a number 6 forehand, okay?
This is 6 singles and he's doing that. Like, come on now. Two first sets. Bears let out a big roar. You can see Ethan Musa just doing all his Musa things there on the sideline. Of course, the roar for the Baylor Bears as they now have 2 first sets in the books. We go now to court number 4, and we're going to keep our eye on court number 3 as well. Senla down 1-4 still to Richard Ciamara. That's your bright spot if you're the Baylor Bears. Meanwhile, 5-2, we've got to change over here, so we'll come back here in a little bit. Let's go over to 5. Harper's got the break back.
Harper did manage to get the break back, so...
But now Love 30 here for Bass.
At this point, Texas, 1 first set would be catastrophic. So even as bad as it looks, you take small victories and try to get, at least 2 of these. If you can get Ciamara and, either Harper or, Bailey's still only 1 break down. If he could manage to get his, but they need Ciamara plus at least 1 of the other 2. It's a good play there from Harper to get back to 30 all, trying to dig out of this.
What Harper does so well, and again, Cleve Harper last season, one of the brightest spots in what was such a bright year for the Longhorns. Of course, 24-6 overall NCAA semifinalist. Harper 20-6. That spot, if we can, let's go over to court number 3, where we've got a break point chances again for Ciamara. This is the one bright spot if you're Texas. Deuce point coming up there. These two courts, if you're Texas, 3 and 5, they've now all of a sudden turned into almost musts in terms of first sets. Big serve from Law for 2-4. Let's go full screen on 5. I like this match. I like this matchup. I like watching Cleve Harper, period. He epitomizes what college tennis is all about. Maybe the heir apparent to the Zeke Clark Award. Like, not game style-wise, but attitude-wise, mentality-wise.
Yeah.
Is he the new Zeke? Is Cleve the new Zeke? I kind of like this takeaway. Cut the clip, West Stuff. Is Cleve the new Zeke?
Yeah, I don't like many of your takes, but that's actually a pretty good take.
All right, never mind. Not cut the clip. Send the Twitter poll, Chris. Is he the new Zeke?
I can't send that.
So Cleve holds, big yell there, 4-3 Longhorns. Lets his bench know what's up. Let's go over to 4, though. Talk about first set number 3. This is a chance. Miladinovic set points here now, 40-15. Don't want to call it an upset, but again, all the success Waldib has had. Miladinovic still a freshman here. Nice little pull for Baylor to open this match. And by the way, we're about 26 minutes into singles. They're about to have 3 sets in the bag, Chris.
Yeah. Well, in those 3 sets, when you drop a total of 4 games, it's no surprise it's 26 minutes.
And then Waldib does that, and you're just like, this guy, the talent is clearly there.
Yeah, I think anybody that's listened to us long enough has heard me call Waldib the slap. He can hit the ball, that's for sure. The question is, can you get him to hit the ball consistently in the court? He's got talent, that's for sure.
Miladinovic going big there. Just misses out. So now deuce point coming up. And again, if you're, by the way, Adrian Boyton breaks to start, 6-love, 1-love lead for him on 1. Meanwhile, again, if you're Texas, it's a fast start for Waldib, but we know he's capable of making that comeback. Like to see one break here, even if he drops the set. Just build some momentum here for Texas. Is a significant deuce point coming up.
Waldib called it out. Miladinovic with the fist. Oh, doesn't like the return call that he got from the one that Waldib didn't like.
Folks, we're back. College tennis is back.
We have absolutely no idea whether either one of those balls was in or out. It's just the reactions and the way they take it.
Of course, there's a serious conversation to have here. And shout out to our friends at SwingVision, who are providing the sort of technology that will make automated line calling not only possible, but affordable at the collegiate level. So shout out to our friends at SwingVision. And yes, that's a serious conversation we'll have on Thursday's show. We're not going to let that deter our excitement here. This energy, this is college tennis. And yes, you'd like to see that cleaned up because merit should decide all of these matches. Of course, you don't want a bad call to dictate a top 10 sort of result. Don't judge us for enjoying the drama, though, okay? That's all I'm saying. Don't judge us for enjoying the drama.
This is starting to look very quickly like it's going to be the middle 4 courts that are all going to be must-haves for Texas, as Mizuchi did take a 6-2 first set and already up It's not a break on serve, but up a game in the second. But yeah, he and Boyton are just off to the races.
And if we can, I don't mean to cut you off. Let's go to 3. Ciamara serving 4-2, but a deuce point here. We're tuning into. All right, Richard Ciamara continues to provide Texas that push. You see him lifting his arms, trying to give his team a little bit of energy. 5-2 Texas here on 3. We go back now. Let's go to court number 5. I like the energy of this Bass-Harper match. This just feels like one of those throwdowns, and of course we tune into some drama. Looks like that's Harper upset at the net. Long conference, folks. Again.
Where's Finn Bass? Oh, he's sitting on the bench.
No, I don't think that's Finn. I think that's a changeover on court 3. I think that's Law.
Yeah, you're right. Where is Finn?
He's probably just standing back there at the fence.
Yeah. Oh, there he is. He was indeed. He was at the back fence.
So probably there. Again, this is where automated calling, SwingVision, folks. Go look at it. Crack 20. Trust me, it's worthwhile. Oh, and there's a little love tap on that ball. Send back from Cleve Harper. Not going to take any nonsense on the court. Going to switch away from this, though. Westhoff, I want you to keep your eye on court number 4, but let's go to court number 1 first. Adrian Boyton, 6-love, 2-love up. We talked about the talent of the hard-hitting junior, excuse me. This is what we talk about, folks. And when he is on his A game, he's going to blast through you. Has that ability. Just play on his terms. If he connects with a forehand, he is now in control. And you see him now up a set and a break. So the scoreboard ticker was a bit off. It's now Boyton serving 6-love, 2-love up. Confident Baylor Bear team as we see Marco Miladinovic serving now for the set on court number 4. Chris, I don't want to say I was doubting these number 2 Baylor Bears, but I hadn't seen them compete the way we've seen TCU, Tennessee, Ohio State all compete. If this is your first impression of them for the college tennis season, it's a very good one.
Yeah, I mean, it's the reason I'd had them at number 2, but I'm with you. I was still, a little bit skeptical. Always, every time I submitted that, thinking to myself, is it too high? And I've been calling for, a Florida Baylor rematch in the, in a final, but yeah, until we got to see them play this, they've certainly, at least through the first, hour and a half here, shown us that's the reason they're getting all that respect. Like Boyton is just absolutely demolishing Michael Brasco.
This is quite the performance from Adrian Boyton. He did not perform particularly well against Texas last season. See now 40 love for him there. You look for Adrian Boyton last year's results. Unfinished against CM Waldebe. Gets a win over Elliot Spizzirri. Gets a win over Waldebe, but was knocked out by Spizzirri. 2-1-1. Good, not great. Man,
3-love.
So we go full screen now on 4 as Miladinovic serves it out. And CM Waldebe again. Yes, you look at the numbers for last season. Goes 10-10 overall in dual matches played, but of course, the look for him was 6-4 at the number 3 spot. A couple wins at number 1 as well. You know, hard hitting he's capable of. that's a bad miss. That's a bad miss for Siamaldi there on that return. That's just not the one.
And that's the consistency I talk about in terms of just, gosh, he can hit a great ball, but then he can do that. And just got to find a way to get more balls in the court. That's a set for Miladinovic.
Let's go now to 5, where Cleve Harper's got some breakpoint chances. 3, 4, 30, 40. We're also going to keep an eye on court 3 if we can, super producer Daniel Westoff. Nice forehand from Finn Bass to fight off one break point. Right now on court number 3, Richard Ciamara serving for the first set for Texas. We're going to split screen it now. Again, left side of your screen, deuce point. 3-4, Finn Bass serving for Baylor. Meanwhile, Richard Ciamara of Texas, 5-3, 15-all serving for the first set. And a set on the board, a much-needed set on the board for the Longhorns. Through 1.5 hours of play, though, all Baylor Bears here in Waco.
Harper doing a dance there, getting his break, but at the same time, Ciamara now goes down 3 break points.
So it's 5-3 here on 5. We go full to court 3. Yes, Cleve Harper serving for it, but let's lock in here. Sven-La chance to extend this first set. And it looks like he's done so. Double fault from Ciamara. He faced a couple of break points in his previous service games. So La stays alive, 4-5 there, but Harper making his move as we go back to 5. Serving for it now, 5-3. Looks like a net court had gone his way there. Both these guys just want to find forehands, Chris.
I've still got Cleve sprinting around the back of the court in circles there in my head. After he got the break. But yeah, you talk about it a lot, how there's that momentum swing in every match, and it just feels like, I mean, if Texas is going to put up a fight here, they've got to find a way to get this set on 5 and Ciamara's set on 3 just to get 2 sets on the board, and then, you know, just get off to a decent start, you know, get up a break in a couple of those second sets where they dropped the first already. I mean, that sort of push has got to come, or it's going to end up being too little too late.
So it's got to be here for Harper, serving for 15-all now. Well, don't think we've forgotten. We haven't shown nearly enough Matias Soto. He's just quietly earning all the victories for the Bears today.
Yeah, and he'll be serving for his set, I believe.
So we'll keep an eye on 2, maybe go split screen there. We'll stay here for now. Bass missing that backhand just wide. So 30-15, Harper 2 points away.
Oh, I thought it was. Okay.
Meanwhile, Boyton, 3-love, 2 points away from 4-love. I lied, Westoff. Let's prepare the split screen for. Actually, keep your eye on 2. The moment 2 comes back out on court, let's go split.
Yeah, Boyton, a couple break points for 4-love.
Great ball from Finn Bass. Forehand pass down the line. 30-all now. coach George Goldhoff. Like that return. The depth of it. You saw him referring to that slice backhand there, saying good cut. 30-all now. Now you see Soto out on court. Looking to serve to make it 3 first sets. 4 first sets. Miladinovic breaks for 1 love on the floor. Jeez. Go full court on court number 5. This is a big moment for Texas. Just put something on the board. Meanwhile, actually, can we go split 5 and 3? 5 and 3. But you're right. This is a swing for Texas.
Set points on both courts here.
Again, courts 5 and 3 right now if we can. This would be your first moment for the Longhorns where you say, okay, we're in this match. That's a set for Harper. Oh no!
It went up. It hit and went over. Yeah.
So deuce point now. First set, Richard Ciamara, huge Longhorn yell. Now let's go full screen on 5. Can the Longhorns make it 2 sets? Harper, deuce point coming up.
I say we get a dance one way or the other here. Whoever gets this point.
It's going to be loud, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
One net cord goes his way. Can't get them both, though. So, Texas, you're on the board. 6-4 first set at 3, 6-3 first set at 5. Let's go to 2 right away. Matias Soto looking to make it a 4th first set, and this is our final first set. Go full screen here on court number 2. Matias Soto, 30-15 lead. Now 30-all. He's 2 points away here. Boy, would it be nice if you're Texas. Stay alive on 2. You can talk yourself into 3 first sets.
I'm not convinced they're not listening to the broadcast either, Gruskin. They changed the spelling of his name. I like it. Oh, beautiful ball there.
Everything he does is just so clean, right? Yeah. Soto, that was so smooth. So now it's 40-30 here for the senior. Of course, you look for Matias Soto. Enters the season. 71 wins in his career. Can he get to 100? Ooh, that's a chase. He's one set closer. Yes, he's got to get...
No chance.
Oh, I don't know. Those Bears play a lot of matches. You look for them last season, 34-5 last year. He can find his way to a couple of wins. He's halfway here against Texas, 6-4. And now all of your first sets are on the board. And if we can, let's quickly reset super producer Daniel Westoff. If you can, let's go me, Chris, the scoreboard as well. 4 first sets for the Bears. 6 love on court 1. They also get 6-2 set on 6. 6-4 sets from Soto and Miladinovic on 2 and 4. Texas gets those sets on 3 and 5. Ciamara, Harper had to have them. They get them. But what a first hour and a half for the Bears.
Yeah, great first hour and a half. And honestly, they've continued in the seconds on 2 of those courts at least, right? On 1 and 6, they're already up breaks midway through the second. So that looks like a really clear path to a 3-0 lead. So
how about this? They're up breaks on 1, 4, and 6 now. And let's go to court number 1. Adrian Boyton, a guy we think has a lot of potential. not only be the #1 player in the country, your NCAA singles champion perhaps this year. He's up 3-1. Again, it's 30-all here on court #1. We're also keeping an eye on court #4, where Marko Miladinovic has opened up a 6-4 two-love lead over Siem Waldie. That's one where you probably favor the more experienced Waldie coming in. But guess what? Matches on paper are just that, things on paper. You don't know until you play things out.
Other than my calling for Boyton at 5 last year, Gruskin, you want to know my best Adrian Boyton story?
Please.
Which actually has very little to do with Adrian Boyton, but as we were playing Baylor at the National Indoors in Chicago in 2019.
We being Mississippi State.
Correct. Trevor is playing Boyton. Back-to-back matches against Famba and Boyton. How's that draw? At 5. At 5. He gets Famba one day, Boyton the next. So let this point go here.
Big hitting from Micah Braswell.
So in the end, Trevor loses both matches, identical scores, 6-4, 7-6 to both guys in the middle of the Boyton match. Nothing wrong with him. Tells the chair, trainer between breaks at the changeover, please. Calls for the trainer. They had a thing going when they played that, you know, it was amongst all the guys on the team and the trainers, PJ, who if you had to make this symbol below your waist and get the other guy to look at it, and it was like a victory. So he calls for the trainer dead in the middle of a serious match, 6-4, 7-6. PJ comes out, sets everything down. All right, what's going on? What's wrong? He goes, it's right here. PJ looks down, and Trevor's making this sign down below his waist. And he looks at him, and he's like, you got to be kidding me. You called me out here for this. And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. Go away. And then Boyton closes up the match.
I like that that's the Boyton story then.
Yeah, I think it was one of those, he just, he needed a break. Boyton was just pounding on him the entire time.
No, and you see here again, Adrian Boyton, a little bit of a slip up. Braswell making a push, so 3-2 now. Yeah,
on serve at least for Braswell. I mean, it would be nice for them to have a little bit of hope on that court. And at the same time, Evan McDonald now has a couple points. He's already gotten back on serve and a couple points to make it 3-all on 6. So those two courts that they were just down 3-1. Oh, I guess that was to get to 3-2.
Yeah. And so now let's go back. And so let's go over now. Let's go to court #4. That Miladinovic-Waldie match. That's the most puzzling result, and I know it's a changeover right now, but Miladinovic, again, really steady. No doubt about that for the freshman. But 6-4 3-love indoors, Chris, this is a wow sort of result.
Yeah, not a good result to this point, certainly for Siem Waldie. It's double break here in the second.
Again, worth reminding, Texas without #1 singles player Elliot Spizzirri today. Out with injury. That return, he's missed it like 6 times.
It's that body backhand return. It's just, there's nothing on it, and it's into the net.
And here's the thing, we know Coach Woodson didn't scout that. That's just a Waldie miss.
Yeah, Miladinovic says, well, I'm just going to keep hitting the ball there.
No, maybe he did scout it.
I'm going to make you short arm a backhand return every time.
Coach Woodson playing ball boy here. You can tell that's been the side he's just struggling with confidence on right now. 40 love here, 14 points from Miladinovic to make it a commanding 6-4 4-love lead Meanwhile, I think that serving marker on 6 is wrong, Chris. I think Mizuchi's serving up 3-2 and up 30-love and up a break. They just have it incorrectly laid.
Okay.
We'll head over there in a second to see. Although, actually, that might be Miladinovic on the top right of your screen. Excuse me, Mizuchi. I don't know. We'll head over there in a second.
That is, yeah, that would be.
So let's go to 6 if we can, super producer Daniel Westhoff.
So it is. So McDonald is serving. Yeah.
So the marker is correct. Excuse me. It's a nice ball there from McDonald. 15-30. Keeping an eye, if we can, on court number 1, Westhoff. That Braswell-Boyton match feels like it's heating up. Micah's going to make a push. He's finally back on serve. Has to be now. So you can go split screen there if you want. Actually, let's do so if we can. Split screen 6-1 as soon as they're on court. See it now with the Braswell serving. For the record now, the second set in both of these matches have already been longer than the first sets.
Yeah.
Neither player's at 4 yet. Look at that big forehand from Mizuchi now. 3 break point chances, and the crowd is just getting after. Westhoff, if we can we set up court number 5 in that second split screen? Let's keep 6, but if you can get that second one to 5, Finn Bass has himself a couple early break point chances in a Cleve Harper service game. One fought off by McDonald. Now 30-40 on both of these courts here.
You know, it just dawned on me that obviously he's at the match because we've not been overwhelmed with Scotty B messages tonight.
I think he did say he was there. Break Mizuchi, break Bass. Baylor Bears swing. So it's 2-love on 5, 4-2 on 6. Let's go over to 1 now. Super producer Daniel Westhoff. 3-2, 30-all here in the Micah Braswell service game. Super talented sophomore. Finally back on serve here. But of course, Adrian Boyton is just going to keep swinging, keep putting pressure on you.
Oh, it's a nice ball.
Isn't there a second Braswell too? Like a Jonah Braswell or something coming to college?
That I don't know.
Get our IT.
Good hold from Braswell. Needed that. Gets to 3-all, but I feel like as well as Boyton's been serving, granted he did get broken this set, but as well as he's been serving, he's probably just content to take his swings right now on the return game. He had it at 30-all there and just think that, you know, it's going to break sooner or later.
If we can, let's go to 4. Miladinovic, speaking of breaks, 2 more break point chance to take a commanding 5-0 lead. And again, Waldeep has not been healthy. This has been a heck of a performance here for the Baylor Bear. See Coach Woodson running over. By the way, IT's report. Not only is there a second Braswell named Jonah committed to Florida, blue chip recruit, there's a third one, Jeremiah, 8th grader, blue chip. Tell you what, the 3 Gruskins were no chips. Another backhand arrow. You can see Waldeep hitting his head now. 6-4, 5-love down. They kick a fan out. That's interesting. Obviously, you can hear that environment right now. Baylor Bear energy everywhere.
Did you say they kicked the fan out?
Maybe something like that, unclear, or asked him to back up. In the meantime, let's go to 6. Mizuchi, 6-2, 4-2, 30-15, looking to consolidate here. And money at the bottom of the lineup for the Bears all season, continues to do so. From John Parsons, Jonah Braswell, brother of Micah, committed to Florida. Family rivalry gonna go. I like that.
Is that next year?
I think so. Mizuchi holds 6-2, 5-2, bench roars. Now we're rocking and rolling here at Baylor. Let's head back to number 1, and we're keeping our eye on 4. The moment Miladinovic gets back on court, we'll go split screen. But right now, 3-all, 15-all here. Micah Braswell making his push, and it looks like this is going to be where the push has to start. We'll get to Bailey Soto, which we have not spent nearly enough time on. The action is elsewhere right now. Miladinovic serving for it. Braswell making a push.
Yeah, I think unless it's because Boyton doesn't win his second set, that Bailey Soto match is undoubtedly not going to see a finish. The matches on 2 and 3 both going to by far be the longest playing matches, I'm sure. Keep our eye on 6 as well, as even though McDonald's serving Wampies within a game there, so a break would win that match for him.
Let's go full screen on 4. Boyton holds 4-4-3. Meanwhile, match point coming up. Give me that slow clap, Westoff. Court 4. Marko Miladinovic. 3 match points for the freshman. Make it 2-love Baylor Bears. Meanwhile, you're right. Keep an eye on 6. Here we go for Miladinovic. Tell you what I'd be yelling. Marco Polo. Marco Polo. We found ourselves a number 4 singles player, folks. It's the freshman, Marko Miladinovic. 6'4", 6-love. 2-love Baylor. Let's go to 6 now, where Mizuchi closing in on the finish line. This crowd has been giving him everything he could ask for. Chris, man, these Bears. Maybe they're number 1 over Ohio State. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. Well, this is a nice performance. Donald doesn't love it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
That one did look a hair wide, at least right down the. We had a good view on that line.
a really nice ball there.
Good rip there.
Meanwhile, you hear a big roar across the building right now. Finn Bass making moves. Sven La up a break now as well. Feeling good if you're the Baylor Bears. Going to keep our eye on court number 1, Westhoff, just in case Boyton gets a break point up 4-3. That's our closest to the finish line. Cleanest finish for the Bears would be 1-6. Of course, the aforementioned 4. Good call, good call. All right, Musa. This isn't Wimbledon. Match point coming up. You know what we need, Westhoff. I assume you hit that slow clap. Here we go. Bears 1 point away from a 3-0 lead. Game, set, match, Mizuchi. 6-2, 6-2. It's 3-0 Baylor Bears now here in our top 10 battle in Waco. Now we go over court number 1, Adrian Boyton, 15-30. He's 2 points away. And I'll tell you what, we've got some good matches elsewhere right now. Finn Bass up 3-1 for Baylor after dropping the first set to Harper. Sven La 2-1 up after dropping the first set to Ciamara. Soto, Bailey's just been a battle, folks. But right now, Baylor looking for the clean kill here. And it's their number 1 singles player, Adrian Boyton, looking to get the job done, 15-30.
Oh, 3 break points now. Probably a good time to ask our friend John J. Parsons' favorite question. They have to be playing clinch, right?
Oh, no doubt.
There's no way they're playing this match out.
They did play some of them out last year, but I don't think so.
Not, I mean, it's granted it's always only a 6 p.m. start there, but it's 8 o'clock on a Monday night. No way they play it out. There's the break.
No, 30-40 now. 30-40.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right. Usually it's me
for
who
those
does that.
Yeah, for those that don't follow our Twitter repertoires there, that was a big debate earlier on the whole Jay not liking the fact that and I'm acting as if I know. I don't know. We have no idea whether they agreed to play clinch or if they're playing it out. So that's one of the things, Jay would like for the fans to be able to know, are we playing it out or are we not? And the only people that know are the people on court.
According to our friend Jay per Baylor's Twitter, they are playing it out.
Wow.
Interesting.
See, like I said, we didn't know. I'm shocked.
Well, let's lock in here. Break point here as Boyton tries to separate.
He double faults it.
Fault from Brad.
And no, Jay, we don't need consistency. This is the beauty. It's up to the coaches.
All right. All I'm saying is if Baylor social media did, because they tweeted out Marco Polo, and that was the obvious one. But come on. Can I get at least a CC next time? 5-3 here. Boyton serving for the match.
I'm convinced that Coach Woodson, you have a linebacker that has to spy the quarterback on the opposing team when you're playing like Lamar Jackson or something. He's got someone that's assigned to you. He's assigned to the broadcast. You got to see what they're doing. Anything worthy, you gotta respond.
I appreciate it. That ball called. Was that a?
Called
I can't
long.
tell if that. Did he call it long or did he put that? Yeah, that ball called long. So 3 left. Meanwhile, Jay's referring to a match where they said we're playing out our singles matches. That came right after doubles. So that could have just been referencing like, hey, stick around post doubles. We've got singles coming up. So unclear if they're playing it out. Obviously, we'll find out if Boyton manages to hold. But 15 love here.
Yeah, that would be crazy. I would honestly be shocked. But as I said to Jay, and when we were having that little message session back and forth, if both coaches don't agree to clinch, then it has to be played out. So if either coach wanted to play it out, it gets played out.
Here we go, Bears. 2-5 doubles. Here we go, Bears. You got it.
See, Jay thinks it's not good that we don't know. I think it's absolutely brilliant that we don't know. I love the uncertainty. You wait till that 4th point comes, and then you look around and you see if everybody stops.
Match point here for Adrian Boyton. Serve and volley! Adrian Boyton!
They don't look to be stopping.
4-0 Texas win. Meanwhile, to your point, you're right. It does look like we're going to play on here in our singles matches, but in the end, Baylor. Wow. That's a comfortable victory for the Bears. And let's talk here now as we look at this result, Chris, for the Baylor Bears. Roared off 5-1 lead at number 3 doubles, 5-2 lead at number 1 doubles. Now, ultimately in that doubles point, it was a 6-4 win for them at number 2 to ultimately get a victory, and then a 7-5 win for them in the end at number 3. And I mean, you look for them here, 4-0 for Marco Miladinovic, about an hour long, 6-2, 6-2 for Mizuchi over McDonald. And then for Adrian Boyton, that's a number 1 player in the country sort of performance, dominant 0-3 victory over Micah Braswell. Your thoughts on this Baylor Bear performance?
Yeah, I mean, dominant, and need I say, it could be even more dominant because it does appear that they're going to play it out. And the 2 sets they dropped, they're up breaks in the 2nd set on already. I mean, this, I hate to say it, it could be a 7-0 match, right? I mean, 6-1, 7-0 type match. Very, very dominant for Baylor. I mean, you couldn't have scripted it any better, other than kind of the quick start and then fade in doubles, even though they still managed to get it. Outside of that, I mean, they never let off the gas anywhere.
Yeah, no, again, these Baylor Bears, super impressive today. And now, 9-0, they're going to be heading into the national indoors. Let's do the flip side for Texas. They're 4-3 now overall on the season. Losses to Arizona, 4-3 to Florida, now 4-0 loss here at Baylor. They've been injured. Spazzeri out of today's match. Clearly, that played some sort of impact. Waldeep continues to struggle with his form, and he was not healthy to start the season. Where are you at with this Texas team? They looked good, 4 over Columbia, 4 over Oregon, but they're probably not going to be a top 8 seed at the national indoors.
Yeah, absolutely not. I mean, they can't be. So but I don't think they're going to be. I don't think they'll be so far down that they have to face one of those top 3-ish type. I mean, we'll see where they land. I would think, somewhere in the 10-12-ish range, but yeah, not going to be a top 8. it's not on anybody's home court necessarily there other than, Washington, and they're not playing them. So I don't know that that'll matter so much other than what team, who they draw in that first round. But yeah, I mean, for them, it's a matter of getting healthy. They've got to get, I mean, I have to assume that Waldeeb is either just not healthy now or still just not in great form coming back from being not healthy. Spaziri not in the lineup. And, just a rough performance. I mean, what we've seen from them is against the teams they should beat, they look pretty good. Against the teams that are a step up, they haven't looked so good. So, we'll get 3 good looks at them at indoors and make further assessment. But so far, probably not the start they were looking for.
No, indoors is where this team certainly caught fire last season. And, I would agree with you. I think that's a pretty accurate assessment. The slow starts, that's what's so concerning. Back-to-back slow starts in singles and in doubles. And, credit to the Baylor Bears, credit to Michael Woodson. Boy, did he have that Herd Tennis Center rocking and rolling. And, again, it's going to be tough to beat the Bears straight up in a neutral field. You have them in a home court environment, Bears were too tough. And so, again, we're getting some questions in our chat. Did we see the Tracy calls? What are our rankings? We're going to address all of that this Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern time, the deciding point here on our Cracked Racquets YouTube channel. Myself, Chris Halliorst, Matt Stakoyak, of course, John J. Parsons, the aforementioned Jay, going to be joining me tomorrow night to recap the latest in women's college tennis. And he and I are going to preview the women's national indoors event at some point this week. That's probably going to be on Wednesday or Thursday for all of you podcast listeners. But it's busy times here at Cracked Racquets, Chris. We've got national indoor broadcasts on our Cracked Racquets YouTube channel the next 2 weekends. This upcoming weekend, headed to Madison, Wisconsin. I'm replacing you with I'll say a brighter and balder version of you in Mike Cation. No, just kidding, my friend. I knew I just needed, but I said brighter and balder. Again, take whichever you will there. He's going to be joining me in Madison for the women's call. Going to be joined by Mark Bay in Seattle for the men's call the following weekend. Fun times for us here at Cracked Racquets. So Hawkins, did I say Herd? Thank you. Hawkins Indoor Tennis Center, super producer Daniel Westoff, who shout out to as always on the 1s and 2s. Any final thoughts? We are going to be wrapping up our broadcast here. Of course, you can follow all of these individual court feeds as well. Still have action going on court number 2. Matias Soto, 6-4-2-3. They're on serve there. Sven Law, up a break right now, 3-2 deuce point there after he dropped the first. You've got then got Finn Bass, 5-1, 30-15 up on Cleve Harper. That match clearly going to a third. Any final thoughts on the action from the Hawkins Tennis Center, Chris?
No, I mean, just dominant performance from Baylor. I'll miss you this weekend, I guess. We had a good time when we were in Madison. I will say, if I catch you eating cheese curds with Mike or knocking grandma off the wall and killing her, then that's that's our Wisconsin memories. But I'll be listening. I'll be listening in as much as I can for the broadcast this weekend.
See, first of all, I would never eat cheese curds with anyone but you, Chris. A, B, those are your memories. I'm not going to share mine because they're not PG-13, but you know exactly what I'm talking about are my memories from Madison, Wisconsin. And those indoor broadcasts are always delightful. And so, look, I'm sure we're going to talk to you throughout the weekend. Like, let's be clear, you will be part of our Cracked Racquets coverage. But as always, we'll throw one more in there. Sebastian Weil, because this is one right up your alley, Chris. Toughest conference to be in terms of winning the conference outright. Just say it.
I mean, there's not any question. It's the SEC. I mean, the Big 12, as I like to call them, the Big 6, when they get more than 6 teams, maybe they could start to get in the same conversation. But I mean, the Big 12 is, it's obviously down to those 2. It's clearly, it's not, the Pac-12 has a couple good teams. The Big 10 has a couple good teams. The ACC has a couple good teams. The Big 6, has 3 good teams. The SEC just goes, super deep. So, I mean, I will say though, if you want to talk about just winning if that's the only concern is winning the conference outright. So now you're really only talking about, well, I got to beat 1 team or 2 teams. Then you could make an argument that sure, if I have to between Baylor and TCU and maybe Texas, but trying to get by one of those two teams, you got two top 5 teams there. But you got two top 5 teams in Florida and Tennessee. You got it's just a deeper conference, and you have more matches, more conference matches. Again, when you've got 6 teams in the conference, you only play 5 conference matches. So it's a little tough to give them the nod.
I'm going to say the SWAC. I just think you're selling them a bit short here. I'd go Southwest Athletic Conference, probably a Conference USA B. I mean, you're going to roll Liberty, so it's not them. What are they, Patriot? No, they're not Patriot League. What are they?
Well, they're the ASUN now, but
ASUN, that's what it is.
But they're leaving the conference in 2 years.
Really? Conference realignment, by the way. What do you think of the SEC? SEC chance?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to make of all that. Yeah, we'll
leave that to Maddie. We'll leave that to Maddie on Tuesday or Thursday.
Yeah. The SEC. I feel like the SEC. It's obviously not the Southeast anymore, but it's also it's like it's becoming its own league. They might as well just break away from the NCAA at this point.
I like it. All right. Well, with all of that said, again, a huge shout out to a couple of people, our friends at Tennis Point, for their continued support of all of our efforts here at Cracked Racquets, tennis-point.com. The promo code is CR15. A shout out to our friends at SwingVision. You want to know what the solution is to any close calls on a college tennis court? It's the technology being developed by our friends at SwingVision. You can learn more visiting our website, crackrackets.com. The link to our SwingVision site, or the SwingVision site, in every podcast that we post. And again, once you learn about SwingVision, you're going to get hooked. That is a guarantee. Of course, with all that said, a shout out as always to super producer Daniel Westoff, who we may kill by the end of this February, but if we don't, it's because he remains the most talented man in the business. Shout out to you, Chris Helios. I can call you at 1:15 on a Monday and say, hey, you want to join me, Baylor, Texas? And you're like, yeah, sure. What time? 6:45? I'm like, yeah.
Watch him anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So as always, a thank you to you, my friend. But for my fantastic co-host, Chris Helios, our super producer, Daniel Westoff, and all of us here at Cracked Racquets, I am your host, Alex Gruskin. Baylor Bears 4-0 victory over the Texas Longhorns. We hope to see you throughout our many upcoming broadcasts here over the next week, and we hope you enjoyed today's match. Take care, everyone.